Yeah, we are live now.
Yeah.
Next, we are
Shall I
having a
go ahead?
panel discussion on climate
Yes, sir.
innovation, how to drive effective action towards climate positive fashion and apparel. We have Mr. Anil Chowdhury, Managing Director, Greenwaves Environmental Solutions, Mr. Ashok Chakravarti, representative from Karnataka Small Scale Industries Association, and Mr. Adnav Podar, representative from Garment Exporters Association of Rajasthan. Over to you, sir. Over to Mr. Ashok.
Mr. Anil Chaudhary is there on the line. You said Arnav, right?
Yeah, I'm Adnav. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Arnav, is it? Okay. Here on the system, I can see the Anil Chaudhary. Is it the same? It's
yes, yes.
different. Yeah, acha,
Yes, sir.
okay,
You can
fine.
go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Anyway, good evening from yeah, from good morning to good evening. We are reached. Hope we are going for the good days future. Thank you for everything. It was very interesting. I was amazed to get into this form. This was a new opening for me as a MSME person. But what I found is we were talked about the problems we invited, and now we are trying to solve it. So as a industry person, generally we look into how we can make money, but sustainability and all other things set aside, we try to sustain ourselves. For all these things, I think the last session, what he has told, the policy matters a lot. So when they're making the policy, they should make the inclusivity of the industry people, right from small to big. Otherwise, policy makers, they may include the big people. They understand because big lobbies are going on. It is there by nature. It is going on. All politicians will have, whether big or small or anything. But right from the grassroots level, if the different levels of policy making inclusivity is made, then we should have not gone to such a panic situation that we are working on sustainability, recycle. All this what is not necessary because the policy matters everything. This one single line that I can say that. See now to say, as per the records of the government, that whatever we have been listening is all connected to the industry that's going a very big way for the polyester, nylon, all these things. What does it mean? Again, we are inviting more problems. Once the polyester is done, it will stay even if a 10 generation vanishes, the polyester will stay on this soil. When we import something, polyester means from other land it comes and settle here. What does it mean? Our agriculture lands are gone and our future thought process is gone. We are inviting an unsolvable problems. From Australia, they don't want our dirty shoes from India to go to Australia. Where what we are importing, what we are inviting? Polyester is made and it's made into the ours, bring into our soil, and which cannot be removed at all. It cannot be. See the polyester roads, what they are doing from the bottles. This is a general view I'm talking. As a business, yes, there is a problem. But how to solve this problem is a policy. That's why I put the word. When we were young, I used to see the jute bags filled with dal, wheat, sugar. Everything was transported in jute bags. Even cement was transported in jute bags. Now, why it has been changed? It's a policy matters. Now we don't want that, this, and everything. We wanted to bring back the natural fibers. So the policy making is very important, and right people has to be done, and no lobby should be allowed there. Now the good governance from the government, good level of people are there. We have to make use of this government. Whatever the government, right people should be there for the policy making. See, when they say the policy, now they said from Japan only they are bringing the PET bottles. And because they have got the right sourcing and other things, for traceability. And Madra courts, they are doing that. Why it has to come from all the way from Japan to here to make the manufacturing? And it will be utilized here. Finally, polyester will be in our land. Similar way, when the polyester, if you take the garments, For every wash, there will be loss of polyester. It will become a micro. When the micro it happens, now we have been seeing it in the seawater. In the what you call in the fishes, we are seeing the polyester content. Now the day will come in the potable water, we don't get it. When you dig a bore well, you'll see the polyester content. See the PET bottles, what they are using it, they are making for the roads. When the roads they are making, due to the abrasion, that become a fine particles, micro particles. After the fine particles, once it rains, what happens? It goes to some streams, some rivers, finally go to the sea, and it enters into the borewell. So we are inviting polyester into our borewells. So tomorrow, if you want any what you call vegetables or anything or the potable water, you'll not get it. Right now, already in US, I don't remember exactly. They are drinking polyester in micrograms. This is there on the Google. If somebody can search it, they can get it. There are US already they're drinking polyester now. So I think this is a serious issue. How we can stop the polyester, or how it can be done, the policy only makes, or we can curtail to certain extent. This is what I feel. Once this we are entering, bringing the problems inside, then we started solving the problem as an industry. This is a very serious issue. I think it has to be taken care. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Ashok has brought a very wonderful inputs. As we are into waste management, we conduct a lot of beach cleanup and cleanup drives and all that. And we see that apart from the plastic and ghost nets, we see a lot of fabric, post garments waste getting into the marine litter, and then we are collecting it back and we are sending it to the municipal corporation, to the local municipal body. So around whenever we conduct beach cleanup, we end up collecting around 15% of this trash uh, from the end up being textile. So what Mr. Ashok has enlightened us that we may end up drinking poly in the water, and maybe slowly, if we don't address it very soon, definitely in my feeling, already these polyester, all that would have entered into food chain, and then we end up consuming not fish, a little bit polyester also. As we are into waste management background, I like to enlighten few issues like it's high time, like how the central government is developing a policy to scrap heavy vehicles. It's high time to also look into the policy making of how the pre and post textile or garments should be handled as per the protocol. So, because I can see that in coming 2 to 3 years, especially in our Telugu states like Andhra and Telangana, I'm seeing a huge textile parks are coming forward, but without any proper waste disposal mechanism or not any related pollution control board limitations, these may end up either going to the landfill area or burning in the open land, because either the uh, the company people are not aware of it, or the vendor is not the waste management vendor. The main I see in the textile park and apparel park is a lot of this waste management waste junk is handled by the informal sector. So all the commercial commercial products are going towards the Tirupur and Bangalore and making commercial viability, but non-recyclable items, that is where like the fashion industry should focus on, and also look like we are into eco products. So what we are saying is we have to look into reducing of chemical impact on the textile garments, and we should also like design some eco-friendly like production, because whenever in general the people talk about the textile industry, they only just see the limitation of using huge water requirement as an environmental impact. But after the production and during the production, the waste management impact on the our ecosystem is more than what the impact is happening on the water bodies. So definitely we are like we Greenways are working towards this some sustainable upcycling thing. But again, there is one debate going on that the upcycling is also not a complete remedy in controlling the textile waste towards the landfill area. Still, that's one of the best possibility right now, temporarily what we are having. So the apparel industry should come forward and develop some waste management policies or devise some infrastructure R&D on the waste disposal also on after the production of the garments. Uh, to you, Arnav.
Yeah, thanks for the guidance, Mr. Anil. I am from the garmenting background, so we are manufacturing and exporting garments from Jaipur. So, keeping the view from the garment industry, what we can see the future towards sustainability and climate positive fashion. Basically, I have a few points. So, one of the point is that custom clothing and custom tailoring is picking up now, and the industry is seeing a trend towards custom tailoring. Custom tailoring is basically like the customer orders and you make as per an order. So this can be the future for the garmenting business, because right now all the big brands, they are producing in volumes, big quantities, 50,000, 100,000 units, and in the end, the goods which are not sold end up in landfills. So custom tailoring can be a big future which can help in reducing the unnecessary garments produced by mass producing apparel companies. And many companies are working in this area now. In India, we can see Bombay Shirt Company, the Pant Project, Fable Street. In USA, there is a company known as eShakti, Red Thread, and there's a company known as Suit Me Up in Australia, which are making custom built suits. So a lot of things are happening in this area, which will be the future for garmenting, which will give better fit and better quality to the customer, and will avoid the loss of avoid the scrapping of garments in landfills. And now we are having a lot of body scanning techniques and other intelligent tools which can help in the artificial intelligence field by taking the measurements of the body and help the customer get the right fit. And customer is also understanding the concept of sustainability, and this concept is going to be a trend. Second point, what I would like to share regarding climate positive fashion is that top brands are leading the way, and a lot of brands like you can see H&M, Kapal. There's one more brand in Sweden, ICA. All the big brands, Nike, Adidas, they are leading the trend towards sustainability. And in the last 3 to 5 years, fashion brands have started to focus on sustainable fabrics like organic cotton, DCI cotton, FSC viscose, Ecovera fabrics, recycled polyester. H&M and Zara have made publicly bold statements on using sustainable fabrics. And basically, this has to start from the top, and top retailers have to lead the way. And many big companies are doing the same. And we are garment exporters, we can see this trend changing. Like 4 to 5 years back, there was no mention of sustainable fabrics. But now, in the last 3 to 5 years, 25% of our production, our company Street Sagar's production, has become sustainable, because some companies have made it mandatory to use sustainable fabrics like BCI cotton, organic cotton, FSC viscose. And now, like, the suppliers and the fabric manufacturers are also having inventory for these kind of fabrics, and we are getting better lead times, and the suppliers also understand the end customers requirements. So sustainable fabrics are increasingly being used in apparel industry, but it is starting from the top only. So to penetrate the entire industry, we have to take the smaller retailers, the smaller customers also into the loop. They should also think about sustainability. This is an important point to focus on. Big people are doing it, but not the small retailers. So that step needs to be taken. But things are happening in this area. Keeping in mind we are exporting to these customers. And Now, like from the end customer's point of view, now the customers are also wanting organic garments and sustainable garments. So, a lot of customers, like if when you see the garments in the store with a goat certified organic tag or a special FSC viscose tag, this really adds a big value, and customer is willing to purchase those garments which are sustainably made. And sustainability has become a real driver for the purchasing decision right now. Internet search for the sustainable fashion has increased by more than 4 times in the last years. This is one of the things which by which we can see that sustainability is growing. And the online retailers are now having a special section for sustainability. Earlier, sustainability was not a part, but now you can see there's a special section for sustainable garments, and when you click on that, you can find a whole different category of garments which are being sold in the sustainable section. And one more trend which is happening in sustainability in garmenting, and which is the future, is virtual sampling. So in garments, we do a lot of sampling and we send a lot of samples to our customers, and the samples are then checked and then approved. But now with the 3D CAD systems of big companies like Gerber, Lectra, Optitex, there are a lot of 3D tools are in the market. So this can help in minimizing the sampling work, thereby reducing making unwanted samples and reducing any courier dispatches to the customer, which will save the cost as well as help in the environment sustainability. And this is a lot of things are happening in this area, and many companies, international big retailers, are partnering with the exporting companies, and retailers want to do the virtual fitting, and keeping pandemic in mind also, this is helping the retailers to save time and save cost and help in sustainability. And the last point, what I would like to mention, which will be addition to what Mr. Ashok and Mr. Anil said, the government policy and government action plays a big role in increasing sustainability. So, like UN recently launched the Fashion Charter for Climate Action, where signatories have agreed to reduce emissions by at least 30% by 2030. Swedish government committed to achieving zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2045 at the latest. And you can see, like we can see, because we are working with 2 or 3 Swedish retailers, so like H&M, Kapal, and ICA, there's one more retailer. So these people are focusing on sustainability, and sustainability is a big part of their business now. And these kind of ways are one of the like future how we can focus on sustainability. France, like a circular economy law is expected to come into force as early as this year, which will prohibit clothing companies from destroying overstock. So these kind of laws can always help in the climate positive fashion. In Turkey, zero waste campaign was extended to textile products in 2019. There are similar initiatives underway in many other countries. In Europe, 70% of the companies fully agree that responsible and sustainable sourcing was on the CEO's agenda. So basically, if the government action is there, that always helps in increasing sustainability. Like in India, we can see we are working for a retailer in Maharashtra known as Anita Dongre Global Desi. So when Maharashtra banned the use of poly bags in the state, immediately it trickled down to all the companies, and we had a special requirement for this customer to use special sustainable packaging material, which will not come into the category of poly bags. So this is a small thing in India, which we can see just a policy matter, which can affect the change in the decision of the retailers and in the business fraternity. So, like in future, if the countries focus on like make a law or have a focus on using 30% sustainable materials in the production of garments, or these kind of laws, these kind of government initiatives can also push the area of sustainability. So these are some of the points what I feel from the garmenting fraternity, which will help in climate positive fashion. And some things are happening, and a lot of more effort has to be done, because textile industry contributes to a lot of waste and a lot of greenhouse emissions. So this is from my side. Thank you.
Arnav and Mr. Ashok, I just want to know a little bit of your input and your comment on, like earlier I said, we are from waste management background, so you see a lot of EPR on plastic and e-waste management. So do you think the implementation of EPR may help effective action towards a climate of positive fashion and apparel? I mean, if the government would come with EPR, extension producer responsibility, so that public also will help in getting that circular chain of collecting back to the recycler or the producer.
Yeah,
What's your point of view on
I
that?
got a very simple answer for this. Whenever anything which we don't want, what we'll do from our house, we just ask it to get out. Any product that we don't want, which is excess, which is not usable, already used, we'll just throw it from our house. What we are doing, we are inviting every to our country now. So there we had to stop it. Now, as the policy matters, what I request is, how many times you make the seminar, how many times you get into the policies, how many people you are going to educate it. For this, the policy matter, very simple policy, strong policy, what is required is education. Right from the kindergarten, they has to be educated, and they had to make it a subject. What is sustainability, what is cycle, recycle, and re-commerce. This, as per the age, what they can absorb, they should start thinking of it. It has to be put it in through the policy to the curriculum, right from the child. If we educate them, we did not struggle so much. Very simple things. Do you want to wear the polyester nightwear and sleep it? No. The moment it irritates you, throw it off. Where you will throw it off? You already imported. Already it has come to your house. To throw it out is very difficult. See, the people in front of the house every day they clean it. What they do, they clean it. They clean it and they put it on the other side. For the next door, they'll put it. It's very simple. And they will put to the next door. Then finally, that people who are all stored and it comes to the center of the road. Then the garbage people has not come, you complain. And people they put it. From there, from house itself, it has to be get clean. And the policy, it has to be incorporated as per the people who can understand, and the parents should understand. If right now, if we start the policy of for the understanding the sustainability, recycle everything, if you imbibe in the child mind, like they call it as a samskar. If the samskar is given right from the childhood, you did not struggle so much for the next level. If the companies are producing more and more waste, and if the recycle people they don't take it, what the company will do, they legally also, if the policy matters, they might have started already, but they have to think twice, because future generation, they are very smart. If they don't want, they don't look back into you at all. See, within the nucleus of the house, what they do for the husband, wife, and the children, what they want, they do, that's it. They don't care for what other things are happening. They wanted to survive, sustain first for themselves. So that culture has to come right from the childhood. So this policy from the parents, from the schools, it has to be imbibed in the child DNA. Then only this can happen. India can become we have the capacity to imbibe fast and to make it happen. As you have seen in the uh, pandemic, we have incorporated immediately the so much PPA kits. We have done it, but the government has not given a proper policy for that. So much PPE kit is used. Where it is there, it is a landfill for in India only. Again, where the government incineration, where it is there, no incineration. They could have even a mask, they could have given cotton mask treated with antimicrobial or antiviral finish. They should have made the policy. Now everybody is wearing the plastic one. Where it goes? It's a very, very serious matter. I think my head started reeling when they said every second one truckload landfilling of textile is there. Means immediately my mind was working on the policy for the children's, for the education curriculum to be included. I think that will make a big change, I believe. It takes little time, but a big change and sustainable change. That's what it happens. I think everybody will agree this.
I also agree with Mr. Ashok's point. Like education and awareness is most important, and along with that, if we have a positive government policy towards sustainability, that is the key going forward. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Ashok, there is a question like, so what is CASIA doing with respect to the policy making and advocacy? Which government body are you aligned to?
See, CASIA is Karnataka State Small Scale Industry Association. Anything problems in the industry, we try to solve it and we put it to the association. We have step in 23 bodies of the government bodies, whether it is in policy making or in the electrical supplies or with the government policies of the building roads. Anywhere we can get into this, because this is the strength of the CASIA. We have around nearly 13,000 members, industry people, and we invite all the problems whatever they have. And this is a forum where people can enter. They can register in our association. For the um, urban, it is 10,000 rupees. For this one, 10,000 rupees. I mean, 5,000 rupees for the villages and other things. For this one is 5,000. There is an election body meeting is there, and all platform is there. They can come and speak, and we take the policy making. We can go to the central government or the state government, and all policies can be changed according to our requirement or for the public. Any problem that to run the industry, we can have a voice over there. So what I feel is, this is only for the small sectors are there. For that, there is no forum, and they don't know. They are not much aware of that. For that, government can make a system where people can involve the small sectors, handloom, hand spun, or the handmade products. For that, one forum they can create, and they can invite people what they need, because people who manufacture, they know very well what can be sold and how the people can react. For that, the policy making, if their involvement is there, then if we make this product, it can be sold, and they had to be given an exposure, international exposure to be given. That is lacking. This is because of the, again, education. I think I'm right.
Any more questions from the audience, sir? This is to Mr. Arnav. Like, custom tailoring is also creating cutting waste. Your views? Sir, am I audible? Mr. Arnav, you have muted yourself. And there is another question as well, like, do the local tailor shops that do bespoke stitching are not their part of custom tailoring? Your views, sir? Am I audible? Am I audible, sir?
I can hear.
Yeah. So we have a question like, do the local tailor shops that do bespoke stitching are not their part of custom tailoring? So your views on that? Mr. Arnav, we have a question for you. Custom tailoring is also creating a cutting waste. Your views on that? Am I audible? So kindly unmute yourself. Am I audible, sir? Am I audible, sir? I don't think they're able to hear us. Any more questions from the audience side? Otherwise, we can just end the session. Yes, sir. Fine. Okay. I think no more questions from the audience side. So we have come to the end of the session. Like we have reached the end of Sustainable Clothing and Textile Recycling Online Conference. I'd like to thank our gold partner codes, silver partner Green Waves Environmental Solutions for their support. Further, we'd like to thank our speakers who took their valuable time and gave us greater insights on sustainable fashion, textile recycling and upcycling. At last, I'd like to thank all the delegates for being part of the conference. Let's meet in our next initiatives. Kindly spare some time to write us your feedback. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shilsha. Thank you.
Thank you,
It was
sir.
very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. I request all the delegates to just fill the survey form, which we have just uploaded in the chat box now. It will take only 5 minutes of yours. Your inputs will be really valuable for us. Thank you so much.